Welcome back, everyone, to the Suit Yourself Podcast, part of the Finish First Media Network team. My name is Austin, co-host number 1, joined tonight by fellow co-host number 2.
Brandon. It feels like we've done this before.
It does. This is our third take, and I would like to say that my last name is not co-host number 1. There was a comma there, but
good to know.
Either way, it was a very poor intro by me. I should be better by now. We'd like to welcome everyone into the show. Today is October the 14th of 2020, the year terrible. We had a beautiful Tuesday night game last night. Moving on to no Thursday night game this week, which is very devastating. But I guess poor Brandon is a Bills fan, so last night was a little bit of a rough night. We were finally exposed to the frauds that the Buffalo Bills are.
No, they had 2 horrible turnovers in the 10-yard line, which gave the Titans 14 points and took away a potential 14 from them.
Now, as somebody who also, it seems like you kind of root for the Titans as a secondary team a little bit. Are the Titans just way better than the Bills, do you think?
No, I only root for them because I think, first off, I think... No, yeah, I like Derrick Henry, but I think they're underrated, especially last year, and they won me a bunch of money last year. But the turnovers they got, we spoke about this earlier yesterday, that not all turnovers are equal. They had the 2 of the most costly turnovers of the season. Like, opening play of the game, they turn it over in the 10-yard line, and then when they're starting to make a little push, they fumble it inside, I think, the 5-yard line on the kickoff return, which gave them a free 14 points. And let's say hypothetically they would have scored on one of those drives, that's a 21-point swing right there, and they didn't lose by 21. So they might have. But either way, it was bad. But either way, they without, and then I say, well, without the 2 bad plays, obviously anybody can make that excuse, but those were 2 really bad plays. I feel like they outplayed or were just as good as the Titans every play of that game except for 2. And it was just...
Are you saying the fumbles were the only 2?
Those 2... Well, one was a fumble. Yeah, one was a fumble and one was a pick that was tipped in the air. Josh Allen had a horrendous pick, and they returned it for 80 yards. There's no excuse for that. That was...
Oh, was that so?
No, that was just a bad play. But that one, and that was credit to the Titans for returning it so far. But the other 2, they just figuratively and literally dropped the ball at the worst point possible.
Yeah, that's something that you love to see if you're a Bills fan.
No, they lost by 26, so it didn't really matter. But it would have been a much, 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 much closer game had they just not done that at that time. But oh well.
The life goes on, right?
Barely.
So for tonight's show, we're going to jump into the Week 6 preview. Sadly, we are actually moving through the season quite rapidly, which is disappointing. This is the one thing I have to look forward to every week, but
literally nothing else.
We are going to continue here with the preview section. Brandon's also going to run through some of the lines for the games, so we can incorrectly guess the lines. Very excited for this episode. Let's just jump straight into it.
We're going to get that spreadsheet out?
One of these weeks. I think that might be your job. That might be your job going forward here.
We'll see.
I do all the uploads, and that takes too much time for me to do the spreadsheet. First game that we have we have 6 games this at the noon slot. First game is going to be Patriots Broncos. I believe Drew Lock is back for this game.
It's not going to make a difference. Breaking news, by the way, Melvin Gordon picked up for DUI.
Shout out to my team who has Devontae Adams, Melvin Gordon, and Chris Godwin.
Did you hear what?
And Zach Ertz in Dynasty.
So we are facing any repercussions.
We are suffering. I don't know as of right now what the status of that is. I know that he is not playing, or it looks like he's not going to play this week. I believe that the minimum games you can sit is 3 once the discipline is 100% going through. You know how sometimes things work, how it might be a week or 2 until the discipline happens. It might be one of those situations, but from what I was seeing, it looks like it's going to be the Philip Lindsay show. He was coming back from injury, so I believe Philip Lindsay is going to be back this week. I believe Cam Newton's going to be back this week, Andrew Lock. So we actually should have quite a few people back. I believe Noah Fant is still not looking to play this week, which is kind of a bummer if you own him. But at least we actually see starters this week. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I do want to say, and there is a lot of rumors around the Patriots potentially going after Le'Veon Bell.
Who cares?
No, I think he's actually good. There's been a lot of... he has been a guy in the past that,
that's also
Belichick has actually gushed over when he doesn't do that too much over players. So
that's also every single free agent. oh, the Patriots are going to get him. Every time there's a big free agent, oh, the Patriots are going to get him. Oh, the Patriots are going to get him.
Yeah, but this one seemed like the Belichick in the past has shown a keen interest to him. Plus, they have quite a bit of cap space. So I think that they actually could get him on a 1 year, pretty, you know what I mean, essentially for free. But we'll have to see how that progresses. I would say either way, he's probably not going to get most of, you know what I mean, even if he was to sign today or tomorrow. Would he even get that any touches, or would they even play him? You know,
probably not.
I think that'd be something to be seen.
Especially
anyway.
This should be an easy win for the Patriots.
I agree. I think I'm actually kind of excited to see how N'Keal Harry looks this week. I think this could be a good chance for him to kind of bust out.
Damian Harris too. I think he has potential to be good.
Yeah, I think it's I definitely think that he's one of those guys that he has the chance to. I don't want to say win. I don't want to say win your league. But because Cam Newton's going to vulture so much, but I think he could definitely be a nice flex option or maybe a low end RB2. I think he is better than Sony Michel, so I do think he has a chance to get in there quite a bit.
And yeah, the Broncos probably have. I'm looking it up now. They have. Why can't I find it? They have a middle of the pack rush defense, but they also play the Jets in that time, so it's probably slightly below average if you take out the free game. So I feel like Damian Harris is going to do just fine this week.
Yeah, I do think he's going to have a strong showing, which will definitely be nice. That's for sure.
Because they give up 110 yards, and that was, again, playing against Frank Gore, which is a free 20 yards. Like, they go, here's just 20 yards for this game, which kills the average.
No, I'm with you on that. As far as the Broncos side of the ball, are you excited about anybody there?
Not really. Melvin Gordon hasn't looked incredible. I know he's not going to play.
Well, yeah, Philip Lindsay, I would say.
He's not going to play. That being said, when those two did play together, Melvin Gordon was clearly the better guy. So when he's been a little disappointing, like last week, he got saved by that huge touchdown the last play of the game, or the last time he played. So, I mean, I'm really not excited about it anyway. Jerry Jeudy, he's also been fine. 15 catches so far, 230 yards, which I believe is on track for about 800 to 900 yards, which isn't incredible. It's not terrible. For a rookie, it's fine, but I'm not excited about that either. There's not much to be excited about with these guys.
Yeah, I think Jerry's a fine flex play.
If you're desperate, yeah.
Philip Lindsay's probably a decent play, but yeah, outside of that,
he's like the Ruggs. It's just tough. He'll get 2 catches, 2 or 3 catches.
Still go with
probably a big play in there, but
then I think Edelman I think he's probably a pretty good play this week too.
He's had a couple bad weeks.
Yeah,
he's bound for a comeback.
I think this is a good get right game though. Broncos are looking terrible on every end, so won't spend much more time there. I say the Patriots are projected probably 6.5.
Oh man, 9.5.
Oh jeez. That was one of those ones that kind of, it felt like I should guess it, but it just felt like too much. But
the over is 45
points.
Yeah, I'm taking the under, and I'm taking the Broncos.
I would take the over, and I think Patriots are going to win this game. It was 9.5.
Yeah, they'd have to win by 10, obviously. I just don't think their offense is good enough. Like, I think the Broncos could have put up 15 points. I don't think
I'm taking the over and the Patriots.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the Broncos could have put up 14 to 21 relatively, or not easily, but they could put up 14 to 21, and I don't see the Patriots putting up 34 points.
Yeah, I actually I think that they're going to be pretty good, but I think Cam Newton back. I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs last week, and that's with,
Last week.
Well, isn't that the last time? I'm trying to think.
Oh, there was that COVID, wasn't there?
The last time the Patriots played,
ago.
They almost it was the last time they played. They almost beat and they should have beat the Chiefs, or they shouldn't have. I think they might have if they had Cam Newton, and so I think that they're actually going to be pretty good. So.
He didn't play that game. I was struggling to remember what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. It gets a little weird when people are missing games for long periods of time and whatnot. But next we're going to go ahead and move on to another very exciting game. May I add?
Another
Texans-Titans. You know what? I'm going to say that this is kind of an intriguing matchup.
I don't think so.
I think A.J. Brown's going to have another beast game on the Titans side. I think Tannehill's a good start. Johnny Smith is a good start. Derrick Henry a good start. Anybody outside of those three that you're thinking?
Not really, no.
I'm expecting a big day out of them. I think that they're just going to run the ball all over the Texans.
They're going to do whatever they want all over the Texans.
Very nice. Titans' defense is pretty good as well. I would have very tempered expectations for probably almost anybody on the Houston side of the ball.
And this is not because the Titans are undefeated, but they have a game plan and they stick to it, and it works. Like if you think of they won 3 playoff games last year, and I think they won 2 consecutive regular season too. So they were like on a 5-1 at the end of last season, and then they come in are 4-0 now, which isn't a fluke. And even the first win was ugly, 16-14 against the Broncos, but they missed 5 field goals. Then they barely beat the Jaguars, barely beat the Vikings. But then when they play the best team they have, it's the Bills, and they had no problem. So I think they're going to be just fine.
I think they're going to roll them over. I always get a little nervous because I think Houston can actually be okay on offense.
I've thought that for 5 weeks now, and I've been wrong 4 of them.
I'm interested to see how Brandon Cooks looks this week, too. I think everybody's going to be down a little bit. I would not really want to roll David Johnson out there so much, but...
So far, we've been kind of wrong about Will Fuller. He missed a game, which is 20% of the season thus far, and he's still on track for over 1,000 yards.
I feel like I've been wrong about every single member of the Texans. So
granted, the likelihood of him playing 15 games is probably about a 0%.
Texans really had a tough schedule.
But the problem is, let me just pull up their last... There's one game in there in particular where it was just bad. Like, yeah, the problem is they play the Chiefs, stand no chance. Like, it wasn't even close.
I'm not saying they're good.
They play the Ravens, stand no chance. They play the Steelers, they actually kind of competed. They play the Vikings, get blown out by them.
The Vikings shouldn't be bad, though. I'm just saying.
Well, I know. But then they beat the Jaguars.
Every one of those teams mentioned, weren't they all playoff teams? Well,
yeah, but
the Steelers should have been.
My thing with them is, though, like, if you're going to lose to a good team, you bet, like, and you still want to be considered good, you got to compete. And they didn't compete.
I am not saying that the Texans are good because they're not. I'm just saying that I think they really got... I mean, that's a tough schedule.
It is, but it's... When you're getting beat by, 17 by the Ravens, I mean, if you're playing an average team, you'd probably lose that week.
That's just a tough schedule. Yeah, so I don't have much else to add to that. Like I said, I think it's going to be a rough day for the Texans offense.
I'd start Will Fuller. He's been consistent enough.
I think Brandon Cooks is a decent flex. David Johnson, I would like to run him in the flex. I don't know if many people have that option.
I wish they'd start using him in the pass game more.
Duke Johnson should be used more as well, but going to be a good day for the Titans. I'm going to pick the Titans. I hate to pick the same exact line, but I'm probably going to say, I'll take 7.5.
Titans -3. I'm taking the Titans. The over-under 53, I'm taking the over on that one.
That is really?
Yeah.
See, this is one I might take the under. I think it's going to be Titans. I'll take the over, but I would not be surprised if this went under. I'm going to take Titans and the over.
Fair enough.
Next beautiful game that we have is going to be Brown Steelers. I was kind of joking when I said beautiful game, but actually I am excited about this game.
Steelers are 4-0. Wow.
This is the first time in a while I've been excited for a Browns-Steelers game.
This is the first time in a while I've just been excited for a Browns season in general.
See, now here's the problem, is we're all high on the Browns because I feel like they haven't done much, but they've had good games.
Ever since week 1 was bad.
They're competing, though, against not that great of teams. Pittsburgh is going to be a different story. Their defense is probably going to be clearly the best defense they're going to play, I think.
I don't know.
As of now.
They've put up the most points in their division, and their division has Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Yeah, but who have they played so far?
Well, they played the Ravens, which...
Okay, so this might be the...
That was a dumpster fire. That's like the anomaly, I feel like.
See, but
they played the Bengals, which they only won by 5, which isn't great. They played Washington, won by 14, which is good. They played Dallas, won by...
Washington.
Well, no, but they still won by 14, almost double the score. They played the Cowboys, won by 9, which with a team with that offense, though, winning by that much.
Cowboys only 2 wins are against 0-win teams.
Then then they beat the Colts, who are by 9 points as well. It's not like they're winning by 1.
I just don't think that. I think Pittsburgh's going to win this one. I think it's going to be a rough day for a lot of the Cleveland players. Obviously, I think, especially with Baker Mayfield being essentially his whole right side or whatever it was, can't remember if he's left or right. His throwing side was all hurt. It didn't look like it was so much his shoulder, but just he was just kind of all banged up.
His bean.
I think you're probably going to roll OBJ out if you have him.
Oh, yeah.
I would probably sit Landry. Austin Hooper might be a good start here. And obviously, Kareem Hunt is going to be a good start. But I would be tempered. I would not expect a ceiling game for anybody on the side of the ball.
I saw that the Steelers do only give up 64 rushing yards. But they played the Giants. I guess Saquon wasn't there. Then they played the Broncos, which I guess Melvin Gordon, David Johnson, and then Miles Sanders. Okay, they played 4 good running backs.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, they're good and they have good corners.
Yeah, they played 4 good running backs, so I guess that's not a fluke.
Yeah, they're going to be good. I think on their side of the ball, you're probably rolling Juju out, even though he's been pretty meh so far this year.
I'm not rolling out Deontay Johnson.
I am not either because he has a concussion.
I thought he was cleared.
Chase Claypool, at least I don't think he's cleared. But we're putting in Claypool, obviously Connor, but I don't know if you're doing anything outside of them. Probably this could be a good Roethlisberger game as well, for the record. I think it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I have Roethlisberger and Cam Newton on the team. Who should I start? Newton against the Broncos or Roethlisberger against the Browns?
I'd say Newton.
Really?
Big Ben's passes of over 20 yards. I believe he's throwing at like 24%.
Yeah, but he's still getting touchdowns. And we saw how Houston is getting diced up.
Well,
that's actually one of the more intriguing matchups, I think, is in terms of like which would you rather situation. I think that's a really good question. I'd
rather have Cam.
I still have to decide what I want to do, but that's probably not a bad suggestion. Any last second thoughts on that game, or are we on to Baltimore or Philly?
I feel like this could be a bad game for Kareem Hunt. As an owner of him, I feel like he's a sell high, but my running back depth is just so bad.
I completely disagree with that notion, personally.
Just because he's had 1 or more touchdowns every single game, and I don't think that's sustainable at all.
I actually do think that's sustainable.
As a backup.
But when you say backup, that's like the most like in quotes situation of all time. He's not really a backup. He's like 1A. You know? We're going to move on to the Baltimore-Philly game. We have to guess
3.5, Austin.
Guess
over under 51. Pittsburgh, 3.5.
I'm going to go under on this one.
I'm doing the over. And you know what? I might take the Browns.
Pittsburgh's going to... Pittsburgh, 2.5.
Well, it's Pittsburgh 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's going to win by more than a touchdown.
Ooh, I'm taking the Browns in that one. And the over.
I would bet you money personally on this one, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Pittsburgh wins pretty easily, but I do hope it's a good game. That'd actually be fun to watch. Next game, like we talked about, Ravens, Eagles. Boy, this is going to be a tough game for the Eagles. I saw a lot of people actually say this could be like a Eagles get-right game.
No.
But I disagree. We're all watching Zach Ertz.
And this is coming from somebody who doesn't think that Lamar Jackson's played well at all.
The defense is so good, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The defense and the running game, they plug anybody in there that gets success.
Poor Wentz is going to get hit for the 1,000th time.
Yeah. Wentz turns the ball over or has turned the ball over like crazy. These guys get turnovers like crazy. This is a bad matchup for Philly, and the line right now is 7.5, and
I thought we were supposed to guess that.
Oh, well, I'd take the Ravens 10 out of 10 days on that.
What's the over-under on that?
47.
I think it'll go over. I mean,
probably, because I'd see the Ravens scoring
Eagles
35.
put up 29 on Pittsburgh, so...
And I could see, like, the Baltimore putting up 35.
Are you trusting... And I know I might say his name wrong because I haven't heard it very many times.
The practice squad guy.
Travis Fulgham?
Yeah.
Are you trusting him?
I put in a waiver claim for him.
I did as well.
How much?
I actually got him. I got him in both my dynasty leagues somehow.
Oh wow!
These are like money leagues that are actually really involved. I was very surprised.
I should have done that.
Yeah. So he, I think he might be for real. And by for real, I don't mean 10 for 152 and a touchdown every week, but I think he's going to be good enough to like play every week and get.
All I know is we've seen 2 games with him, and he's delivered both. He's 100%, so there's no reason to doubt him.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think this is a big watch for Ertz game. If he has another bad week, he's definitely like drop territory.
Yeah,
he hasn't done a single thing outside of the touchdown week 1, but it's like on 1 catch.
I remember. I'm pretty sure in the preseason rankings, I had him at around like number 5 or 6.
I think he was my second. So
he was like 6 or 7, something like that. Because like even last year, he was far from impressive. But yeah, his decline has been relatively steep, even further than I expected.
Yeah. So I would say we're gonna watch for him. He might be a drop next week. As far as the Ravens go, I don't really want to touch any of the running backs.
You just don't know. Like
they're nothing more than a flex at this point.
I'd start Ingram.
I mean, would you?
At the flex,
so he can rush 11 for 50?
Like, if I were desperate, I need him.
Well, yeah, he's nothing more than a flex.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't start any of the other ones.
And then Hollywood Brown's probably a good start here. Mark Andrews, good start. You're obviously starting Lamar. I don't think there's really anybody too crazy here. I mean, seems to be pretty common sense stuff.
Even Lamar, like last game, that was a bad game for Lamar.
He's gonna rush though, and Eagles haven't shown the ability to stop a soul. So
yeah, they can't stop a nosebleed.
I think they're gonna be okay. I think Baltimore is gonna win this game pretty heavily.
Yeah, they're 7.5 favorites. Taking the Ravens.
I would take the Ravens as well. Next game we have Washington Giants. This might be the worst game of the year.
Oh Lord,
unless the Jets somehow play.
That just now like registered in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, Washington Giants.
Yeah, this game is not going to be featured on Red Zone or on anyone's televisions. This might have the ratings of an NBA Finals game. This is going to be bad. We are going to let's just list the players we think that are playable.
Well, I just like to take 1 second to say Daniel Jones is currently at 2 touchdowns and 9 turnovers on the season.
Oof.
Yeah. And I know people were speaking of Washington saying, well, why is Dwayne Haskins getting benched and Danny Turnover not? Which is a fair question. The answer is Colt McCoy is the backup.
Yeah.
So
Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. Only 2 people I care about.
Even Gibson I don't really care much for.
Yeah, he's more of a flex at this point, but it's the Giants.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin, he's actually good.
Yes, he is a very good player.
He's like the one good player across both teams right now. I mean,
it looks like I think Kyle Allen's going to be back in.
I'd say Devonta Freeman too, and I don't think he's good.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think
last
Freeman,
game he had I think 22 touch. Or no, he had I think 8 catches.
I think Slayton's a good low end RB or wide receiver too, or flex.
I think that
Evan Ingram might be okay too,
due to how bad the defense is, and in Washington, for how bad the defense is and how much they're going.
They do have a good defensive line.
I think Devonta's going to get a lot of work, and I can't see Washington blowing anybody out. So it's not like they're going to have to abandon the run.
Yeah, I would Evan Ingram, Slayton, and I would go like you said Freeman as well in the new.
This line has me very surprised. By
this
the way,
is going to be. I'm going to say that they probably have Washington winning.
No,
that's
what has me surprised. I think Washington's a better team. And again,
now
take that very lightly because I think they're both terrible.
Now this is stupid. A stupid narrative thing I'm going to bring up. But the Giants are only 2 games out of the division lead. So I think that there's some piece of that that's like...
Well, Washington's only 1.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, that's true. I had like a brain thing where I forgot. Yeah.
Let's look at the Giants' past 5 games.
Is it worth it? I think this game is just...
Fine, let's see. They have scored 81 points and given up 133.
It's not good.
And Washington scored 89 and given up 142. Oh, boy. They're exactly... Actually, no.
Sounds like a Jamal Crawford plus minus here. This is a...
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
Yeah, not good. I guess if I had to choose, I would take Washington. What's the line for this? The points?
Let's see here. Oh, of course, it updated it.
Okay, it's not a big deal. We can go ahead and move on to the next one.
I think it was like 2.5 points.
No, I'm sorry. I mean the over. Over under.
Oh. Let's see. It is 42. Ugh. Yeah, 2.5 for the Giants.
Ooh.
I'm taking Washington, and I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over.
Would take the
just
over.
2 bogus teams just swinging,
21 points
throwing haymakers. That's nothing.
I'd take Washington the over as well. Speaking of dumpster fires, we have Atlanta versus Minnesota next. I don't even know what to say about Atlanta. It looks like everything there might get blown apart.
There's no excuse.
We even had Arthur Blank coming out saying that Matt Ryan's not unmovable, and we had just a lot of... I don't... That's not a direct quote, but it was something along those lines.
There's no excuse for 0-5.
Hayden Hurst looks bad.
I started him.
I don't even know what to say.
What's wild is they got blown out with a great game from Todd Gurley, which you shouldn't expect that from
Todd Gurley, in these games, his box score looks good, but the running lanes he's getting are wide open.
He's still getting it, though.
I
he's
know,
productive.
But it's not like he's doing a Saquon and breaking 10 ankles and then, he's obviously a good play here. Well, maybe. Minnesota's defense has actually looked a lot better.
With the disparity at running back, you have to play him. But he does not look explosive. And I guess I'm looking at it here. They could put up points, obviously. It's the most they've lost by is 14 in a game. So, the Panthers, inexcusable. They only lost by 7. The Packers, they lost by 14. It was a good team. The Bears, they lost to by 4, which, I mean, they're 4-1 technically. The Seahawks, they lost to, I guess they lost them by 13, but it was a kind of a shootout. And the Cowboys, they lost by 1 because they choked that hard. So, like, for an 0-5 team, I know I say this every week, but they should be so much better.
They should be, but I don't think that they're going to be. Julio might come back, but we don't really know what he's going to look like because of the injury. Russell Gage is probably a good flex option if you're just looking to throw something out there and hoping to get something.
Don't start Hayden Hurst. I
Calvin
made the mistake
Ridley
last week.
Going to be good as always. But I think the Minnesota defense might actually shut him down a little bit. But
Alexander Madison's an obvious must start.
Yep, Madison's a great play here. Thielen's a great play. Justin Jefferson, if you're looking for maybe a low-end flex play.
When he shows up, he shows up.
Yeah, not too much there. Kirk Cousins looking bad, Matt Ryan looking bad. Just both these teams not looking great.
Atlanta's run defense has been surprisingly decent. They rank 14th. However, Madison, they give up 110 yards. I could easily see Madison getting 100 yards.
I agree.
And he's underrated in the pass game.
I say that Minnesota is probably favored by 3.5.
4 points, Minnesota. Over under 54.
Oh, they think that's going to be low scoring, huh?
You know what? I'm taking Minnesota and I'm taking the over.
I'm taking Minnesota and the over as well. Next game, we're moving on to. Oh wait, no, these are. Wait, how many noon games are there?
There's a lot of noon.
8. We have 8 noon games. That's really weird, and we only have 2 3 o'clock games, which is also strange. But
I hate it when they do that.
But I know I'm a Packers fan here, but they do have the Packers playing the Bucks in the 3 o'clock spot. So I mean that's
actually a good game.
That's actually it's the worst when they give you all garbage games. That's at least like a good game to watch.
Especially when the Jets and Dolphins are one. So at least one game's worth watching.
Oh, Red Zone just going to be going off with all those points. So we have Lions Jaguars, another game nobody probably cares about.
The line for the Jets and Dolphins is wild, but still a teaser.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Dolphins by a lot. But Detroit, not much you're really looking for this game. Kenny Golladay, you're starting him.
Adrian Peterson's a flex, I think. And I know there's history with that statement.
Is there anybody else? Lions aren't good.
Maybe Stafford if you need a quarterback with buys. He's
a good bye week fill-in. Same with
because Russ is on bye this week, so
Minshew
obviously
might be the same.
Yeah, no, Minshew I used him as a buy replacement last week.
Who are you trusting outside of Robinson and running back? Who are you trusting on Jacksonville?
I think Laviska Shenault is worth a flex at least.
Is DJ Chark worth putting out there?
I know he's having problems with injuries, but if he's healthy, I'd have DJ Chark too.
So we have Robinson, Shenault, Chark. Chark, excuse me.
Minshew.
I don't know why I keep calling him
Minshew if you need him.
He's I don't want to play him, but a desperate play. Is there anybody else you're thinking about? Or is that...
Not Marvin Jones anymore. I'd say on the Lions would be Peterson. I guess TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good.
I'm going to take... Actually, I don't know what to guess here. Lions 2.5?
Lions at -3. I'm taking the Lions. Actually, no. I'm taking the Jags because the Lions should win all these games and they never do.
I'm taking the Lions, but I don't feel good about it.
No, I am taking the Lions. I'm not losing faith.
I don't feel good.
The over/under is 54.5, and I'm taking the under every day of the week.
I think these are 50. So what would that be? 27 points?
That'd be at 27-28.
I'm going to go under. Lions under. I think it's close, though. That's I like where they put the line. That's a pretty good line. Next game we have Bengals Colts.
Lee, another terrible one.
We have a lot of bad games this week. On the Bengals side of the ball, it's going to be a rough day for Joe Mixon, but I mean, obviously if you have him, you're playing him. But I think
if you still have him, you're playing him every week because you should have traded him a long time ago. Or let me rephrase. You never should have drafted him at all.
He's good.
Indianapolis, they give up the third least amount of rushing yards.
It's going to be a rough game.
And I guess over the last 3 games, never mind, I misspoke. They did give up 124 last week. I can't remember who they played, but it had to have been somebody good.
They lost, so I don't...
It was against the Vikings, wasn't it? No, who was that?
You can look that up. I'm going to say that the only guy I'm probably interested in is Tyler Boyd, maybe?
It was the Browns, that's right.
Maybe Tyler Boyd? Burrow's
not AJ Green.
Burrow's going to get hit 1,000 times. We did have the controversy. It looked like Green whispered trade me. So.
That is the only reason why he's still on my team today. So like, you know what? Maybe he'll get traded and not be terrible.
Yeah, Colts side of the ball. T.Y. Hilton has an opportunity here to be good. Campbell might be all right.
What are your thoughts on Mo Alley Cox this week?
I think he's a shut him down, isn't? I believe he's actually hurt.
Oh shoot.
I don't know if he's hurt to the point where he's not playing, but I believe he's a little banged up. I think you could do worse than oh my goodness, his name is Trey Burton. There we go. I think you could do worse than Trey Burton. I think he actually could have a nice game this week, given how bad the Bengals are.
Bears great.
Anybody else you want to talk about before I disrespect the Bengals?
Well, obviously Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon at this point, he's, I guess, a flex.
The worst part is that it's not Joe Mixon's fault, which sucks.
But it's been that way for like 3 years, so you should have seen it coming.
Well, you like to have some optimism that the team's not going to be so bad. Like, you always think, like, how they can't be bad for forever, can they? It's like,
but then you realize it's the
yes,
Bengals, and they make
they have
no.
a good quarterback at least. But
yeah, they've taken one step forward and like 5 back this season. But
I'm gonna say Colts by like 7.5.
It's Colts by 7.5, and I'm taking the Bengals. Over under 46.5, and I'm taking the over. Bengals over.
Phillip Rivers has looked terrible.
He has.
I'm going to take the Colts. I'm only deciding between the line, not that who's going to win.
Yeah. I'm taking the Bengals.
I think it's going to be over, though. Taking the Colts with the over.
Over?
I think there's going to be some garbage time for the Bengals.
Garbage time is literally like, that should just be their new nickname, because that's all they have. I'm trying to look now. Oh, wow. Yeah, they lost by 24 to the Ravens. I forgot they were that poor. Yeah, the only game they've won is the one where they had an otherworldly game out of Joe Mixon. We had to the Eagles, so who cares?
Half a game out of division lead.
They're tough too. They're like the Chargers in the way where I guess they lost to the Chargers by 3. They lose to the Browns by 5. They tie the Eagles. They beat the Jags. Then they get blown out one game. So they've at least been competitive every game.
They're very good at losing. I'll give them that.
Yeah, that's their specialty. But moving on.
Next game we have is going to be the Bears versus the Panthers.
Oh, this is going to be terrible.
For the records of the team, you'd think this would be interesting.
It's going to be a boring game.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Montgomery, a lot of Mike Davis.
Robbie Anderson.
CMC's back yet, right?
No, he's not.
Okay.
It's been killing me.
Yeah, the Panthers are like oddly weird in the fact that like they do the same thing every game. It's like Robbie Anderson's going to have 100 yards, maybe or maybe not a touchdown. Mike Davis is going to have 100 plus all-purpose yards and probably a touchdown.
Teddy Bridgewater's going to suck, but still somehow win. I mean, rinse, repeat. That being said, I think the Browns are going to win this.
There's something incredible about watching Nick Foles play.
He at least slings it.
I love watching players
he's got some stones
like him because he's got the Ryan Fitzpatrick in him.
Well, yeah, what's this guy got to lose?
It's not to go back to our former sad days in the early 2010s of YOLO, but they're YOLO quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, he literally...
Or the yeet quarterback.
Like 2 years ago, he was going to be a pastor, and they called him up, like, hey, we need you back. Like, this guy has literally nothing to lose.
Well, it's like Matt Moore last year in the Dolphins. He was a high school football coach.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it was a...
It's even like Matt Stafford. He'll air it out. What are they going to do, bench him?
I just love the guys who, with the big arms, that just go deep all the time.
Yeah.
And they just... It's like, I think that's why Favre was so magical, because he's obviously way better than those guys, but he would just launch.
Well, it beats the 2020 Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I'm sad that Jameis doesn't have a job, because I love watching Jameis.
Jameis should be starting somewhere. But
yeah.
I'm maybe it's because I'm a football junkie.
If Teddy Bridgewater's getting paid $21 million to play, then Jameis needs to start somewhere.
I'm oddly intrigued by this game. I'm just going to say it. I think Montgomery has an average game for him. I don't think anything great there.
2 yards a carry.
Allen Robinson going to have a nice game.
Robbie Anderson, obviously.
Yeah, is there anybody not obvious on either team that you're starting?
Maybe Jimmy. I actually am starting Jimmy Graham.
I think Jimmy Graham's a good play.
Because my tight end's
essentially always finds the end zone. How about on the Panthers side of the ball? You starting DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson? Are those the two?
DJ Moore has been very disappointing, but
not as disappointing as Curtis Samuel.
Well, that's not saying much. But with injuries, with buys, I'd say he's a start.
Oh, yeah. I think they'll move the ball pretty well. I'm gonna go Panthers 1.5.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh!
45 over under. I'm taking the Bears. I think the Bears are going to win this one. And I'm taking the over.
I'm going to take, what's the over?
45.
I'm taking the Panthers with the over.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Put it on the board. Next we have Jets versus the Dolphins. This is another game that I'm embarrassed to say that I'm actually kind of excited about.
Just going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick just eating.
Fitzpatrick is going to destroy. However, I think Jamison Crowder's going to have a nice day. Let's say something nice. Maybe Frank Gore can get in the end zone. Or, oh no, I forgot Joe Flacco's still starting. Yeah, this is going to be a rough one even by Jets standards. Crowder's going to have it. I think you're obviously, Crowder's still a 1 or a 2 receiver. Number 1 or number 2.
He's literally the only guy I'm starting.
Yeah, Parker. I'm excited about Parker.
Yep.
Any other receivers?
No. Actually, yeah, because I think basically any receiver on the Dolphins with a pulse, because I think this is going to be an absolute massacre.
Preston Williams, is he a good start this week? Is he a flex, or do you think he's a wide receiver too?
Yeah, you know what? Go for it. Either one. Just plug him in.
Yeah, I'd put Preston Williams in. I think Gesicki's going to have another nice game. Gaskin? I think it's a good Myles Gaskin game as well.
I mean, he's going against essentially a high school football team, so he should be just fine.
He had 16 touches last week on the ground, plus, he obviously had... he had 5 targets or 5 receptions as well. So he's getting a lot of usage. As somebody who picked him up, I'm very happy about it. But I think it's going to be a nice week for him again.
The Jets do give up 130 rushing yards per week.
Yeah.
He should at least get 80.
Yeah, I'm expecting the Dolphins to win this one by... what's our line going to be? I'm just going to put 7.5.
Miami, 9.5.
Oh, wow.
That was disrespectful. I'm still taking them.
Wow.
Taking the Dolphins, I'm taking the over because I could see him putting up a bunch of points.
Dolphins also could lose. That's how weird they are. Jekyll and Hyde. I could.
But
9.5.
If not Bradford. If I'm trying to think of his name.
There's no way Flacco does anything.
That's what I mean.
I'm gonna take Dolphins.
If Darnold 9.5. If Darnold were in.
No, I'm sorry. The over under
47.
I'm gonna take Dolphins with the under.
If Darnold were in, I wouldn't take it. But I'm taking the over on Miami.
Darnold's been terrible.
I can see Miami putting up like 35 on their own.
Yeah, but you see the Jets scoring more than 15. Next game we have, as the aforementioned Packers Buccaneers. I'm actually excited about this one. As a Packer fan, I will say that I don't fear the Tampa that much. I think we've beat better teams. Is that fair?
Yeah,
I have to remember our schedule.
Is Devontae back this week? I think he is.
I am not 100% sure on that. It's crazy, though, that the Packers are putting up the points they are and looking as good as they have been without him.
A good quarterback.
Rodgers has just been killing it this year. His quotes, every time I think of Rodgers, I think of that quote.
They haven't really beaten anybody. They beat the Vikings by 9. They beat the Lions, the Saints, who I think are super overrated, and the Falcons. So, they haven't really beat anybody great.
No, we have not.
Granted, you haven't beaten anybody who's terrible.
Would this be the best team? Would this be the best win?
Yeah, I think so.
I do not. I know it was the first game of the year, and I've said I disqualified it before, but the Saints did beat the Buccaneers quite.
I don't care. But I don't think the Saints are any good.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
They're one lucky.
Bucks, so the Bucks.
They were a missed PAT and a lucky missed field goal away from losing to the Chargers.
Oh, that should happen. Well, Justin Herbert was looking so good though. Anyway, on the Packers side of the ball, if Devontae's back, you're playing Devontae. I don't need to tell you to play Aaron Jones.
Don't play Marcus Valdes-Scantling.
That guy.
He'll just leave you high and dry like me.
He has been the biggest bummer.
He just sucks. He's just not good at football. I don't even know how he can be disappointed. I expect nothing out of him, and he still somehow disappoints me.
He'll have flashes where you're like, oh, they're going to use him now, or he gets a lot of work, and then everybody just decides yeah, you know what, no.
I think the Bucs are also going to. They're getting back, or they're supposed to get back Chris Godwin for the first time. He's had one full game, so I think having him back, having Mike Evans, who seems relatively healthy now, I think this is going to be the best they've looked all year too, or at least talent-wise they have. Fournette, I don't know if he's coming back, but if he doesn't come back, that just means that he's not going to be in there, and I think they're better without him.
Are we starting Dalton Schultz?
Dalton Schultz?
Or did I say his name?
Scotty Miller?
No, I'm talking the Packers tight end.
Dalton Schultz is on the Cowboys.
You sure?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of then? I'm going to look this up.
I'm trying to think of his name. It's a strange name. If I see it, I'll remember it.
I apologize if I got that one
I think it starts with an H, his last name.
I will look it up very quickly. Are you starting any other Packers receiver?
Maybe.
Oh, there it is. Wow, you're right. I had it all. I was all mixed up. Robert Tonyan.
That's a Tanyan.
I think Tanyan's a good play. I'm not saying a great play, but I think he's worth rolling out there.
Yeah, he's fine, I guess.
And heck, Jamal Williams might even be good. Jamal Williams last against Atlanta was he had 8 carries. He also had 8 receptions. So I think Jamal Williams is even worth a flex at this point.
That's if you're desperate. I don't see.
Desperate.
I don't see another 8-catch game.
No, I agree.
If the Buccaneers don't have Fournette out there, I think they'll win this game.
I still think that Valdez-Scantling is a very low end flex.
I'm done
play.
with him.
I think he's a low end flex.
Fool me like 3 times, shame on me.
Any tight ends that you're playing for the
maybe Cameron Brate. He's been all right with it. Not Rob Gronkowski because he sucks, but maybe Cameron Brate.
Yeah, I think...
Not Scotty Miller, and I know he's not a tight end, but I'm not touching him again. That 0-point donut he gave me last week.
I always get excited when you see like big name quarterbacks facing off, just for whatever reason. I know Tom Brady's not the old Tom Brady, but
I think the Bucks are taking this one.
Oh,
really? They finally have the receivers healthy, and I know, and the tight ends seem to be getting more and more involved, and I know O.J. Howard's out, but Cameron Brate seems to get more involved. Ronald Jones is getting the bulk of the carries, which I think is the best thing for them, because essentially Leonard Fournette's essentially burning it down. Like, okay, let's want 2 yards, give it to Leonard. Like, yeah, you don't want 2 yards.
I think the Packers are going to win the turnover battle, which is going to be a big deal.
I don't know if they will though, because Tom doesn't turn the ball over much, and neither does Rodgers.
He's turned it over quite a bit in comparison to normal.
A couple of them were week. His big ones were week 1. I know when he's still figuring it out. The line right now is.
Were we guessing or no?
Are you gonna guess?
I'm gonna say.
What you gonna guess?
I'm gonna say that the Packers. I'm gonna say Packers 4.5.
It's Packers -1.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
He has 4 interceptions, by the way.
Oh, I guess I forgot last week he didn't play well against the Bears.
What was the points?
54.5.
I'm
taking the over and I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm taking Packers and the over. I think the Packers are going to win. I would take points with it. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal.
I still just want to puke every time I think of Scotty Miller. 1 target. He was just out there running around.
What if he has a bounce back game?
Well, 1 catch is a bounce back game for him.
We are going to move on. We have 3 remaining games. The first one's going to be, we have Rams versus Niners. There's not much to say here. Are you starting anybody on the Niners? Maybe Ayuk?
I'd say Raheem Mostert.
Mostert.
When they give him the ball, good things happen. They just don't give him the ball.
Are you starting any other... Deebo Samuel might be a very, very, very low flex option.
I mean, somebody on that team's got to catch the ball, so yeah.
Greg Kittle or George Kittle, is he playing?
Is he playing? Or am I playing?
I think he's playing, right?
I think he is.
I needed to look that up and I forgot. Any other receiver you're starting there?
No. The Rams, I feel like Cooper Kupp's going to just eat this week. Robert Woods had a long touchdown pass, which I don't see that happening a second time. He's so inconsistent.
Their defenses look so bad. And when I say there, I'm referring to...
The Niners?
The Niners, yeah.
Granted, their offense is so bad where the defense is out there so much more than usual. So when you're out there twice as much as usual, A, you're going to get more tired, and B, there's going to be more opportunity.
43-17 though last week from the 1-3 Dolphins.
The Dolphins were clicking, but yeah, that's unacceptable. I think Cooper's going to have a good week. One of the running backs is going to have a good week, so I guess just flip a coin. And
yeah, I would say that their flex plays it well. Probably low end RB2s are a flex.
Well, it depends which one it is.
Yeah,
because it seems every single week one of them does something. The other 2 just get like 3 points, but one of them will get like 10 or 15. So, but if you're feeling lucky, start one of them. But
a big deal. It kind of depends a little bit how healthy Garoppolo is. If that ankle's a little better and he can actually throw, it might be a little closer game. But I'm expecting the Rams to win by a lot.
Yeah, the Rams right now, the line. Give a guess.
Higbee's probably worth it. Well, he's kind of been shut down lately. I don't even know.
They just don't throw to him.
I don't think Higbee's worth playing. I'm going to guess that the line's going to be Rams 8.5.
Rams by 3.5.
Who's making these lines?
I don't know. Over under 51. I'm taking the under.
I know that I'm bad at guessing these, but I think they're way better than the Rams.
I agree.
What's the point total?
51.5. I'm taking the under.
Ooh.
Because I don't see the Niners putting up many points.
Yeah, but the Dolphins just 43-pieced them.
Well,
I'm taking. I know that Garoppolo's hurt. I'm taking Rams in the points. Rams and over.
I might put all my money in my betting account on the under on that one. That seems like free money.
I completely disagree.
No, I'm sorry. On the line, the 3.5, putting it all on the Rams.
But they're projected to win.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I've seen them win by more than 3.5.
So you're really going to buy points, or
what?
Never mind.
The line 3.5. I might put all my money on the Rams for the line at 3.5.
Yeah, but you're just not going to get that good odds on that.
I know, but if I put in $150, I'd probably win 100.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think there's any way that it's within a 3-point game. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like free money, but that's just me.
Moving on to the Monday night games, the worst game start time I've ever heard.
4 Central.
What would that even is
Eastern time or Western time
is
or
that 2
Pacific?
hours behind?
Pacific, I think, is either 1 or 2.
I think it's 2 because Eastern's 1.
So yeah, it'd be 2 in the afternoon, so no one's gonna watch that.
Oh, that's weird. This is an interesting game. Because both teams are coming off their first loss.
Yeah, I'm not starting Devin Singletary this week. He's looked pretty bad this year. Or Zach Moss.
I feel like the run game just hasn't got going.
No, it hasn't all
season. I know
season.
Josh Allen runs around quite a bit.
He hasn't even gotten it going, though. I think the Bills receivers, if John Brown plays, obviously start him. Start Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley. I think he could put up RB2 numbers.
Yeah, the Chiefs' defense has not looked very good.
No, the Chiefs just haven't. The Chiefs are 4-1, but they still haven't looked great.
It's been a little bit of a rough 4-1.
Yeah.
At least the last 2 games. The last couple games.
I think Cole Beasley's a huge sleeper this week. Because like even last week, he didn't get targeted once in the first half, which I know you might say, well, that's half the game. But he still ended with 6 catches for like 60 yards, which is in full PPR 12 points. And they started moving the ball a lot more once they started getting him involved. So I can see them trying to get him involved early against the Chiefs. And yeah, he's usually their safety net.
I think Sammy Watkins, if he plays, he might be an okay flex play this week. Obviously, you're playing Hill, Kelsey, Allaire.
Yeah.
Anybody outside of that list that you would throw in there?
No.
On the Buffalo side of the ball, like you had mentioned, I liked who you said. I don't think there's really anybody. Dawson Knox?
I was about to say, do not touch Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is so bad at football.
Yeah, this one is kind of a cut. I mean, this one is, like, if you have most of these guys, you're going to play them outside of, I know he's
Devin
been
Singletary.
a little hurt. Yeah, Singletary
I'm not playing him.
and Sammy Watkins are both those are those 2 guys. I think Watkins is playing. So
what's the line?
I'm going to say Chiefs 2.5.
3.5. Taking the Bills!
I would take the Chiefs on this one.
And the over-under is 57.5, and I'm taking the over.
Ooh.
Bills over. They're scoring 35 points, and they're winning it.
Bills over? How many points did they score last night? 13? I'm going to go Chiefs under. Both offenses have looked terrible the last couple weeks, so.
If the Bills would just not turn the ball over at the worst times, they're good.
The next game that we have, final game that we have, was actually one that I was excited for in general here. We have, and again, I don't know why I'm excited for this. It just seems exciting because points. We have Cardinals versus the Cowboys, the Andy Dalton-led Cowboys. What graced my Twitter feed today was
Red Rifle.
Somebody put $500 on Andy Dalton to win the league MVP. And I was just
what's
like,
a payout? Like $2 million?
Throwing money away here? It was huge. I think he was plus 3,000. Maybe it was more than that.
Yeah, probably $500.
It was 3 or 5,000.
So it would be probably $1 million.
Yeah, I don't know what that person was doing. I mean, one could hypothetically say that, well, he's got elite receivers and he's always been pretty good, so why not? And they're always down.
He's already 5 games back.
But that was the point I was going to say. You're 5.
If it were the start of the season, I feel like it would be an okay bet.
You're 5 weeks down. Up until, Russ has looked very good. Rodgers hasn't even thrown a turnover-worthy pass, and he's looked amazing. There's just been a lot of good plays so far.
Some people just want to burn money.
Yeah, that just seemed like I have way too much money, or I'm trying to get clout on social media.
You can't look at me. I see the
bad bet, by the way.
I see the Cardinals winning this one. The Dallas Cowboys give up almost 160 rushing yards per game. They have Kyler Murray. They have Kenyon Drake, who hasn't done anything.
Chase Edmonds.
They have Kyler Murray. They have Chase Edmonds, who's a fine backup. They have Kenyon Drake, who hasn't done anything.
One could argue he should not be the backup, but I think their touches are going to be pretty equal this game.
I think he's going to get the majority, or Drake is going to get the majority of the carries, but the majority of the catches are going to go to Edmonds.
I think you're going to be surprised at how close the carry total is.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right, but I think the Cowboys going to get run over or get run all over. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a good game. Christian Kirk is going to have a good game. And for the Cowboys, I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup are going to have a good game. I'm not feeling too high on Amari Cooper just after last week's performance, where it didn't seem like Red Rifle was really interested in him much at all.
He did go to Gallup a couple times, which is definitely, as somebody who almost dropped him last week.
Gallup and CeeDee Lamb were his two go-to guys, and maybe the tight end, who is Dalton Schultz.
I think.
I can't remember if he.
As I incorrectly stated. I think though that if I recall, Amari Cooper had a decent corner on him last week, or maybe it was just he shut him down and everybody's like, oh, is this guy good? I don't know. I don't think Amari is going to be taken out of the game plan though.
Actually, is it a home game or an away game? It is a home game, so chances are Amari's going to have a good game.
Going to be a huge game for Hopkins.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that you could see Andy Isabella or Christian Kirk.
I said Christian Kirk.
Even get some work. Hal Fitzgerald had 7 catches on 7 targets last week, so I think Fitzgerald even is a very low floor flex option.
I mean, at this point, the Cowboys' defense is just like crushing cans. Like it's you can do whatever you want against them.
Yeah, I would not be scared to.
Essentially, start any Cardinals player you have.
I would start any Cardinals player as a
given,
a shrug flex if you're really desperate.
Right now, the line. Who do you think it is?
Should I? One last question before I do that. Should I keep? No, never mind. I didn't think of the question. I was going to say I have the Cardinals defense. Should I play them this week? No, I should not.
Absolutely.
No, I didn't think about it. I was like, oh, Cardinals. I'm going to say Cardinals are favored by 1.5. I'm going
favored by 2. Taking the Cardinals. I see them winning by about 4 or 5. 3 to 5.
I have no faith in the Cardinals. I'm honestly think I'm going to take the Cowboys.
What? You have faith in the Red Rifle?
I think I'm taking the Cowboys, yeah.
The thing is, even with the Red Rifle last year, they barely beat the Giants.
What do you mean, on the Bengals?
No, last week the Red Rifle.
Oh, I thought you said last year.
No, last week.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't game planned for it to come in.
He played very well, though. That's what I mean. He came in and played about as good of a game as you could play.
But I think, though, that having a week of him running the offense, and I think people legitimately do get shook when their teammates leave with a dangling limb, and it kind of kills momentum, and I could just be,
I don't know. He was real good last week.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. I think Andy Dalton's an underrated quarterback in terms of he played on such a bad team for so long that I think it's the Joe Burrow thing.
Well, even last year, it was so obvious they were just trying to tank. They were because they put him in the game and they'd be really competitive and like, well, time to bench him. It's like, why? Why are we benching him for? I can't remember who they benched him for, but the guy was horrible.
Yeah.
So why are we benching him for this guy? Like, this guy's terrible.
Yeah, I think Andy Dalton's. I don't think he's bad. I'm not saying he's like a top 5 quarterback, but I think he's
middle of the pack.
Yeah, he's probably. He's in the Jameis camp of why is this guy not starting somewhere?
That was a genius signing in hindsight by, what was it, Jones? His first smart play of his career.
It'd be very interesting. Like, what if the Cowboys started winning games? You know what I mean? Like, what if he was serviceable and you're like, you can keep Andy Dalton for $18 million a year, or you can sign Dak for $40.
You can probably keep Dalton for $10 million a year.
What kind of sucks is that the Cowboys have such good receiving options that you don't even need an elite quarterback.
The Cowboys have potential to come to a very, very, very interesting crossroads in the sense where I think that, like you said, what if they start winning? I think they're going to start winning a decent amount of games with the Red Rifle, and they're going to get to are we going to be those guys who don't re-sign the guy who just blew his leg out for us? It's going to be like one of those, like, people are like, wow, that's so disrespectful. There's potential for it to be like, it might be smarter to either, if they play poorly, just tank and get a good quarterback like Lawrence, or if they play well with Red Rifle, to keep Red Rifle around. So
it's just one of those.
It might be interesting because like people be like, "Wow, that's so disrespectful." Football or the teams don't care about the players, blah blah blah. But if Rifle kills it, I mean, there's a legitimate argument to make.
It's the situation where nobody thinks Andy Dalton's better than Dak, but if he's getting half the money, then you argue that your team's better that way.
Yeah, they can just sign other weapons.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do there.
If he plays well, they're going to have an interesting crossroads. If he plays poorly, they're going to have an interesting crossroads because they're going to be in position to tank. So this is going to be very strange.
Yeah, but they won't take a quarterback. I don't think, no matter what happens.
Well, if they have the opportunity for Lawrence and they don't have to,
they're already at 1.5 games, and they play.
I guess, but like,
I mean, they have to play the Giants twice. They play Philly.
Well, let's
twice,
say Dak's like, I got
Washington
hurt.
twice.
I'm not budging for anything less than $40 million a year.
Well, I think he just doesn't play then.
Exactly. So then at that point, they probably would pick up a quarterback in the first round since they don't have any wins.
But I don't think it's going to get to that.
Or sign Red Rifle.
I mean, technically, they can just keep signing Dak to 1 year franchise tag.
Yeah, that's a home move.
Yeah, I mean,
it's smart.
You
but
say it is, but but aren't they paying him like $36 million a year? It's just hard for me to sit there and be like, oh, poor Dak making $36 million a year. That's
I'd break my ankle for $36 million, definitely.
Would you trade your leg for $37 million?
Trade for what?
$37 million.
What? To not have a leg?
Knee down, it's gone.
With modern technology, the prosthetic limbs have been very impressive. Like Blade Runner, before he got convicted of murder.
Oscar Pistorius?
Yeah, he was running.
Will this video get banned for me saying that?
I don't know. He was somebody'd have to see it first, but he'd run those sprints with no legs, and he was doing just fine.
I'm still on controversial take of the episode. I'm still on the team that should not be legal for him to participate.
Bro, he has no legs.
Yeah, but physics state that.
Well, I guess his calves can't get tired.
No, I'm saying that it was like how he was sprinting was denying physics. Like there was like a point of how I would need to refresh my memory, but because of the legs, he was able to do something like in a benefit that other people without those legs couldn't do.
It's like those wrestlers who are really good because they don't have a leg. Because you don't need your legs, so or like the leg. Like
no, you need your legs. They're good. Well, you can't get pinned as easy.
Yeah, you can't. And you can like be bulkier because you're lower on the weight.
Yeah, you can be more jacked and go down weight classes. I don't think
we call that addition by subtraction.
I don't think though that anybody would. I mean, I think if you were to ask any wrestler, say, "Hey, will you trade a leg? Like, will you wrestle with one leg?"
Well, it's because you can't make money on wrestling.
No. I'm saying if you hypothetically could enter, like, you had the option to take your leg off and wrestle and put it back on, would you? I don't think people would say yes.
I don't know. For $36 million, I probably would. I'm going back to the question. Would it be painful losing the bottom half of my leg? Like, would I get like shot off like a cannon or something, or would I just wake up without it?
You just wake up without it.
I'd do $36 million.
I just get my ankle smoked for $37 million, but whatever. Yeah. It's hard to feel bad. I mean, you feel bad, but not like actually that bad. Does that make any sense?
It sucks, but at the same time, it's like it could be a lot worse.
Like, you never want it to happen. You feel bad it happens, but like everybody, this poor guy.
You could have blown your leg out at the rec center. It had to pay to fix it.
Yeah, what happens to us?
Yeah, the
Sunday night crew.
If I destroyed my ankle like that, I'd have a huge medical bill. I mean, that's worse than getting paid $36 million to do it. But
and you're probably losing. You don't have the rehabilitation methods.
Yeah, and I'm just not a world-class athlete, so I'm probably walking with a limp for the rest of my life.
This podcast has gone off the rails here. We're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Let me make sure we discuss the line here. Oh, it's 3. That's it, wasn't it? Okay. So that's going to do it for this week. We will be back either next Monday or Tuesday. We never know. For the recap of Week 6. Very excited for that. Going to actually be a pretty good football week outside of no Thursday night football, but, we
have 2 Monday nights.
Kind of Monday afternoon and a Monday night.
With 2 Mondays, we probably should do it on Tuesday.
Very quickly, that's probably true. Very quickly, where can the good people find us? Like, very quick. We need to wrap this bad boy up.
FinishFirstMedia.com. That's finish first spelled out media.com. On Twitter, Suit Yourself Pod. Suit Yourself Pod. Suit Yourself Pod.
The 1-4 Washington football team hits the road for Week 6.
Sorry, my computer just started playing something.
On YouTube, Suit Yourself Pod. And on Apple and on Spotify, Suit Yourself Podcast.
All right. Well, we'd once again like to thank everybody for tuning in. Be sure to go check us out. Our new episodes out every week. Subscribe. Do all the fun stuff. Everybody, stay safe out there. Have yourself a good evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening.
Leave that like on the video.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.